Welcome back, YouTube. Welcome back. Hope everyone is having a good day so far. Gonna be doing Blood Wolf Settlement. It's been a while since I've been here. So I did an hour yesterday, and Garmoth pretty much said that I made like 2 billion. I was like, there ain't no way. And I think it's from these bad boys right here. So let me go ahead and process these down here. Or simple alchemy these. So yeah, pretty much like over 2 billion from these crystals, which is kind of insane. Like I got 4 of these in 1 hour. So we'll see how we do in this upcoming hour. Going to be listening to the Old Moon podcast. Oh, I just kind of realized that I'm not even sharing my game. That is a rip. Let's see. I think it's this one. There we go. So, as I was saying, these crystals right here. So I got 4 of these right here in 1 hour. So I made some crazy money yesterday in that 1 hour. Like 4 of these crystals, bro. So we'll see how many crystals I can get this hour. But kind of nutty. Was not expecting. Like I thought there was a glitch on Garmoth. I'm like, how in the world did I make 2 billion? Actually, it was like 2.3 billion because I also got these right here. Like look, from that little event guy that kind of dances around. I got 100 million off one drop, 2 10 million, and then what, 5 1 million. So that's kind of nuts. I got 7 of these. Oh, I need to go ahead and get my daily quest too here real quick. Let me go get that ultra quick. But yeah, we'll be checking out the most recent episode of the Old Moon podcast. I think the Heidel ball predictions. I'm hoping that I don't get contested here, but we'll see. Let's see. All right, go ahead and get the weekly quest. This will give you 5 of these. All right. This is a little secret right here. Look at that. I couldn't have got any better, bruh. Let's go. Oh, oh. All right. I think for the most part, this is kind of all we're going to run buffs wise. Make sure my pets are good. Put that on for my fairy. I don't think you really need this, but it may help a little bit. Just not. There we go. Let's say it's not going to turn on. Like, what's going on here? Yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've been at Blood Wolves, but I cannot believe I made over 2 billion my first hour here. Like, what the heck? Such a low AP, like such a low AP spot. Like, you should not be making that much money. Like, I'm over here like grinding at these high-end grind spots, making like 200-300 million, and I come here not even breaking a sweat, making 2 billion. But I probably had a pretty lucky hour too. And I think the drop rate event also is helping. Because I think I'm at like 267% drop rate. So yeah, that kind of has a factor too into it as well. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the podcast because I think it's like an hour and 20 minutes. So I can hit play on that bad boy. Let's see. Hopefully. All right.
Right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Old Moon Podcast, episode 65.
64.
First try.
Oh my.
I'm
Every
your host,
week.
Blue Squadron, joined as always by Jakun.
Every week.
Hi, my name is Jakun. I'm an Awakening Wisame in the 765 gift score. I do a lot of endgame PvE content, such as Olans, the dungeons. I've been exploring a lot more PvP lately, mainly AOS, and have
Wow,
been having a lot of
PvP.
fun. And you can find me over at
Nice.
twitch.tv/JakunVT before the team.
Whoa.
Right. And my
That's
boy
something.
Blonde.
Hi, I'm Blondebear. You can catch me on twitch.tv/Blondebear, where I like to party. Finished with my merch ring, so we're just kind of exploring the BDO world, working on our demo rings, just chilling out and having some fun.
All right. Yeah, we have a lot to be excited about this week. I'm the one that's about to fly to France.
That's kind of crazy.
Ball,
Could you imagine going to
here
France?
in the next few
It's kind of dope.
days, and we have lots of predictions to do. And things to talk about. So, our topic today is going to lead off with the Heidel ball and kind of what we're expecting here. Let me just lead off 1st because I know that Jay is going to be bricked up when I tell him this.
What?
There is a video that I'm going to be reacting to after the podcast.
I saw it. Yes. I saw it already. People were linking me already.
I was like, wait.
Oh, the new dungeon.
So good.
Yeah. So there's a video that was released of the new dungeon zone.
Uh-oh.
What?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Snuck their way into the new dungeon.
Oh yeah, I know that guy. He sent me pictures a year ago.
He weasels his way into everywhere. Anyway, he made a video about it. We'll be reacting to it after the podcast here. It'll probably come out tomorrow with the podcast on my YouTube channel. But like, yeah, so high chance we probably get that dungeon, right, guys?
Well, actually, that video, he was in there like a year ago and DM'd me about it and sent me the pictures. So that's actually been, he's
A
been
year
in there
ago?
for a long time.
Yeah,
I was surprised he didn't wait till after this next week. I was like, oh, wait for the ball. We get the ball and then they announce it or not. And then if they don't say anything about it, then you could show the pictures or the video or whatever. Cause then it's like, well, PA didn't announce it. So I guess I had to release the footage, but
he makes a good point.
Shot it too early, but
maybe I react to it. Then I wait till after the ball, and if they do the dungeon, if they have
All
the
right.
dungeon at it,
Let's
then
do
we
it.
drop it, and it's like it's the most clickbait shit ever. And then he gets more visibility, and I eat. This is a win. We're both eating, even though he screwed up and released it too early. I can fix it.
You could fix the timeline.
I can fix the timeline.
I believe in you.
Yeah, it's gonna be amazing. But like, so things we're most excited about the ball. Blonde, why don't you go first? What
let's
are you
do
most excited about?
Man, it's probably gonna be the announcement for the new region. I feel like they've already talked about Land of the Morning Light 2, so that's gonna be the prime cut probably from the ball, but they're gonna probably be teasing something else. I think there's gonna be more. They're gonna talk about something off in the future, so I'm just excited to hear about whether or not like Land of the Morning Light 2 has more than just the, because we don't know really much about it, right? All we know is that it's going to have more boss blitzes and a new Phoenix boss or something. I'm really curious if they announced that there's any grind spots or anything else to actually do on the island. And oh my god, a Dokkaebi chest event too. That would be
No!
the dream. That would be so great.
No, God, please,
That'd be
no!
so great.
No more Dokkaebis. I
Ah.
refuse. We're done with Dokkaebi chests. Okay, yeah, no, it's an interesting thought that will never happen. Note, cut that out in post. Jay, what do you think?
Well, Blonde took mine.
Dude,
but
Musa
I
is
still
such a
gotta say
good
this
class for this
was
spot.
New region releases. I mean, one of the biggest aspects of Black Desert that appealed to me was like how big the world is. And so, like when I first logged into the game and pressed M to show the world map, I was blown away and overwhelmed with how much there was to explore. And then back in 2019, I actually completed the exploration section of the knowledge tree for like before the requirement of the Pavino Greco's adventure log. I actually finished that before it became a requirement for that log, just for like fun.
Is it
Just for
me,
the fun of it. And one of the
or
coolest places that I saw was like east
do
of
I
Rehasa,
feel like
which was like off the coast into the ocean, and I
it's a
could
little bit
see
more
like land,
laggy?
like east of Rehasa. So like the world of BDO could be even expanded upon there, maybe possibly.
I don't know.
And so, I mean, they're also.
Seems like it's a
I'm
little bit
also
more
really excited
laggy for
because
some reason.
this place, right, Land of Wonderlight Part 2, Seoul,
Huh.
like they're basing this next area off a sort of like
Whoa.
historic, I guess like feudal era of Korea.
I
So
don't
I'm
know
sure
what's
like the
going on.
company who is Korean based is like really excited to share something that is kind of like
Personal.
culturally
really
personal
weird.
to them. Yeah. And that's always like, I don't know what the feeling is, but so like an example would be like, when my friends who are from a different culture than I am, they came over for dinner when I was younger, and my mom's Filipino and she makes the best traditional Filipino food. And when I saw them enjoy the food so much, I felt like really proud that they're enjoying and appreciating the food from my family's culture. And I don't know if there's a specific word for that feeling, but I feel like this is kind of that same vibe by this Korean-based company releasing a region inspired from their culture for other people to enjoy. So I'm thinking hopefully there's going to be a love put into this next region, and I'm excited for us to experience it,
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sure that there will be a tremendous amount of love for it. I can't believe you guys haven't actually talked. Oh God. I can't believe you guys haven't actually talked about the boss blitz like group boss blitz stuff that we're gonna get.
Well, we
and
can
the
get
reason,
into that.
Well, it's yeah.
We can get into that.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm actually really excited for that. Wait, why are you guys saying it that way?
the way I see it is getting excited for a feature that sounds cool on paper. I'd rather wait to see it because what's going to happen is if your expectations get high because you're like, this sounds awesome, and then it comes and
Blonde.
it's not awesome.
Come on, man. Leave me alone. What are you
Stop.
doing?
Listen,
Blonde, you realize that you literally just said, I'm going to play the game whether the content is good or not, right? This doesn't encourage them to make actually good content. Okay? You want to get excited about it because you want it to be good. If it's not good, then you wince, cry, beg, and moan until it becomes
Oh my
good.
gosh.
Okay? I'll be honest with you.
I don't think I'm their target audience, right? I think there's a different target.
As toxic as our PvP scene can be,
Hey, out of the
one
room.
thing right, and that's when they're mad about something, they let Pearl Abyss know. Okay, if they don't like something, they speak up. It's not like the life skill.
Can't see crap.
We'll live with it for the next 6 years. It'll be fine. This is fine. It's I can just swap characters. I'll just have ults for all my different life skills. It'll be okay. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna
Like,
lie, this is
no,
kind of
stop.
hilarious.
So like I think it is important to get hyped up about stuff and get really excited about content being good. And then if you're disappointed, you get to be a toddler. But how you complain it, you know what I mean? That's just how it is. That's part of the game.
That, yeah.
Decent part of the game is like just sitting in voice with your friends and complaining about it. Like as much as we love the game, but like there's a large portion of the game where you sit in Discord and complain about all the hours that you have to grind.
This is
or
kind of hilarious.
The enhancement constantly downgrading, and not one time are your friends like, just stop playing. Like it just doesn't happen because we all love the game. It is what it is. But like at the end of the day, we're very excited. So I'm super excited for the boss blitz content because I think it opens the door for potential raid content.
Man, can you leave me
I
alone?
think it's their first. I think it's their first attempt at raid style content, where you
complex
have to
group content.
correct,
Right.
where you have to get together with your friends and perform tasks. I'm hoping that they looked at something like Destiny 2 and learned off that. Because the raids in Destiny 2, every single person has to be doing their job. And if you don't do your job, everybody wipes, right? That's what I want out of my content in BDO. And like what they don't understand is they're honestly too forgiving with a lot of their mechanics, right? Like you can lose like 3 people and like one person could finish it on their own in the current dungeons. You know what I mean? So like I'm really hoping that content is truly exceptional. I'll be honest, I'm not really sure if we've had the dungeon around for a while. I'm not really sure we're actually going to get the dungeon again. And I'll be honest with you, there is zero excuse to have the dungeon be this long between the 3rd and 4th part.
I actually talked about. Oh, you're talking about waiting for the 4th one. I thought you were talking about actually running the dungeons. I was talking with some friends about how they could condense the dungeons. I feel like if the 4th dungeon gets announced, the way they're going to do the cut down would be. Really? You love running around and having to juggle all the pieces in your inventory, and then we're sitting there. It's like, who hasn't put their puzzle piece?
What if this is messing up my money per hour? I don't know.
But hey, running around and exploring and doing mechanics, I think is important to
I agree.
Right?
No, I 100% agree.
The problem is you need to make mechanics that are fun to do hundreds of times. In Destiny 2, I'm just going to use one of their first raids, the Callus raid. It was really good. Leviathan was amazing.
Oh, it was so good.
Because
Holy frick.
it wasn't just Callus that was good, right? It was like the bathroom. Yeah, it was like the shower room or the bathroom or whatever you want to call it. The dogs were really well done. And then so was basically every encounter was really, really good.
Oh my gosh,
and you were forced to do it every time you did the raid, and you got meaningful rewards after each boss, which made you want to go do that each time. Vault of Glass is another good one. Last Wish was an incredible raid as well. You just always want to keep doing those. In our dungeons, it's can we skip it and how? Because they don't get... Every boss needs to give like a chest of meaningful rewards. And I know, make it RNG. Yeah. Just open the chest and honestly, the rolly boxes. Open the chest. I want to see the loot just explode out of the box. I really do. I just want to see the loot explode out of the box, and I want to go pick it all up. Animation. Right? Or you can just have it add to my inventory like it's a piece of loot and I picked it up. Like that would be cool too. Like I like the idea of walking in. Like I think that Arithia's Limbo is actually a good example of this. You walk into a room, it's full of treasure chests, and you're like actually excited because you're like opening each chest and you're like, oh, where'd it go? Oh no. Oh, where'd it go? Oh no. Right? Yeah, it feels good. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the kind of raid content we want to see. And like I think that they got that from the raids from Destiny because they're looking directly at Destiny. When they interviewed me for a job at Perlibus, they asked me how they could go after Destiny 2's like player base. This was many years ago. But like that was when they were developing the dungeon in the first place. Like I think that like they could make a raid that looks like this, you know what I mean? Of like 5 or 6 people, and like you have to go through and you have to do it all at once, and like you have to figure it out, you know what I mean? Like imagine our dungeon, but all 4 parts had released at the same time. Like that would have been crazy hyped. That would have been so cool. And everyone would have been rushing to get through it. Maybe you release 1 part a week or whatever. But like everyone would have been trying like to get through it the first time, and then we could have had world firsts and stuff. I'm waiting to do a world first event. I'd love to do one. For the new dungeon would be fantastic.
This is like high anxiety right here.
For no goddamn reason. Like that would infuriate me, bro. Mainly because that content can be spoiled. And it will be spoiled. It's not okay to release content that is like spoilers. Same thing with the new region. It must be released worldwide. If it releases in Korea first, you've completely destroyed your entire game. It does this. Odalita, when Odalita came out in the West, none of us were excited. Like, okay, we got it. There was like barely even a bump in players because we already knew what we were getting. Korea had already had it for 9 months, right? Like it was already like super obvious what all the mechanics were. Like nobody really cared. Like Land of the Morning Light, I believe, released in Korea first, right? Or did it release worldwide?
It was Korea first, yeah.
Yeah, it was Korea first. And again, that killed part of the hype
Kinda
for that
stuck.
expansion. The reason Land of the Morning Light was so big is because the Lost Ark shit their pants. Right as Land of the Morning Light released in the West. But I'll be honest with you, we're gonna release it in Korea because it's translated first. Can itself.
Oh, your
Right,
health must be full.
or honestly
Oh
disrespectfully,
man.
please, for the love of God, you have to release that kind of content worldwide. Otherwise, you kill your game. We're the ones that pay your bills. Like the West pays for your game. It's not Korea paying for your game. I understand you developed the game in Korean, but translate it. That should motivate them to translate the game faster. It's just that simple. How long was
Man, come on,
Ulukita?
bruh.
Oh, we're going through translational issues
Resurrected the
for
closest
Ulukita. We
town.
had to wait like 2
Resurrected the
months
closest
to
save.
get Ulukita.
That was crazy.
Yeah, bro, we're talking about like
Ay,
we're
ay,
talking
ay.
about a translational equivalent of like maybe
Messing up my hour,
15
bruh.
pages, single page pages of text. Like nothing. Okay, literally nothing. And by the way, don't tell me it was the main storyline that wasn't translated because the main storyline came out first, if you guys remember, and then we got the region. It wasn't even the main story holding them up. It was like the items and stuff.
And they
Like,
could have
come
been like,
on,
hey, you want to duel
like,
for
get it
spot?
done.
Like,
Like, this is
jeez.
obnoxious. Hire more people, get the job done, release it worldwide. That's what every other game does. You got to stop this Korean release stuff. It's very frustrating for your player base. But enough about complaining. We're on hype mode right now. What else are we looking at? I'm actually curious what's going to come for the PvP scene. I'm curious if they're going to double down and say that we're going to remove open world flagging. Or if we're getting a siege rework. Like, I'll be honest with you, I don't think that they change Node Wars and then don't change Siege. Doesn't make any sense.
Really?
Doesn't make any sense to me. No. No, they made a big hoopla last time in the Node Wars. Like last time they changed Node Wars, they were like, we want it to imitate Siege so that players can understand those mechanics before they go into Siege. Well, now they're completely different, right? And they're not going to leave it that way. And they're certainly not going to change Node Wars. Siege is about to get blasted too, if I had to guess. As for the new class, do you think it's going to be Succession, Awakening, or Ascension? Blonde, I'll start with you.
I'm hoping it's I just think the classes flow smoother. I know people have a bit of nostalgia for the Awakening Succession side of things, but there's a way to do Ascension that works out like in PA's favor, so there's less balancing. There's already like what 46 classes if you cut every class in half, and I just think that it would just be better if it's Ascension, because we always have these issues where, well, Awakening ends up being strong, like for Dracania, for example, like where we have Awakening being like really busted, and then Succession is just like, yikes. And we have this like weird imbalance because they have both skill trees, but one of them only has one of the skill trees, and so to nerf the Awakening, we have to nerf the pre-Awakening, and it just gets complex. I feel like Scholar's like a prime example of a class that flows really well together, regardless of the balancing with its numbers and PvP and whatnot. The class flows really well. It feels really good, and there hasn't had to be overcomplicated balancing because they found a way to merge both of the trees together and have it flow all the way together. And I think that can be done in a bunch of ways. So I'm personally hoping this is a succession or an ascension because I think it just works better and it's way easier for balancing. But I don't know, because Amegu and Wusa were Awakening and Succession classes where they got another weapon eventually.
All right, Jay.
I prefer the Succession Awakening route, just always. Just like having two different specs, whether it be like weaker or stronger, like like performance wise, like I mean, balance is just something that's gonna always be like, regardless if it's even if it's an Ascension class like Scholar or whatever, balance is just gonna be a thing that's gonna be constantly be, analyzed and adjusted and whatnot. But for me, I'm always about the gameplay, right? More than the performance, at least. And I just love the gameplay of both Succession and Awakening, just having those two options. Scholar, although the Ascension, right, you mentioned before, like it might be easier to balance in that way, but I just think there's no way we can really to balance things. If anything, like the imbalance makes it fun, whether you're playing a strong class or a weak class. Like there's like different aspects about the class that people enjoy. People don't always care about like the performance. Like for me, like I've always just loved the playstyle of Awakening Musa, even though I understand it has like performance issues for certain aspects of it. It's just mine's more about the gameplay, and having Succession and Awakening gives me more gameplay options.
Yeah, I lean towards Blonde's thinking. I think that Ascension is just stronger. I think it flows better. I don't think that.
Well, yeah, it's kind of newer.
Necessarily like I would agree with Jay that balancing's like whatever. I think that Ascension is just easier to approach for players, but there is some merit into what Jay is saying. Like part of the reason that people like Succession and Awakening is you can play a class that you really like the theme on
Yep.
in 2 different ways.
Yep.
And Scholar doesn't have that, right? If you really like the 2 hammers on Scholar, well, you're still using the Sledgehammer, as it is. You know what I mean? So like, there's some merit into what Jay is saying. I think that there should be a healthy split. I actually don't mind if it's Succession or Awakening or Ascension. Doesn't matter to me. Either way, are you guys planning on actually playing the new pipe class when it comes out?
Heck yeah. Trying
Jay,
it
are
out
you
at
gonna
least.
play it? It looks like it's right up your alley,
the
dude.
aesthetic looks,
Yeah.
the aesthetics are like right up my alley. Like Musa, he has like a very similar Musa aesthetic, and I love Musa, and so I definitely want to try them out.
Yeah, he's male. He's
good.
Musa, but like
Male Musa.
Yeah. And Blonde, are you gonna play him?
I'll definitely try him. The problem for me is like I have a very specific flow with classes, and if it doesn't flow with me, then yeah, it just depends. So I'll definitely give it an attempt. The problem is we need more character slots. I'm literally like every season I've had to delete and remake and delete and remake. So
I do that every
character
time.
slot with that one, and because the season, well, they just handed out a season ticket, so it's like, well, now I can't use the season ticket on them. So it's like, I guess I'd make a fresh one and figure it out from there. But I hope if because my prediction is that we're gonna have the ball Saturday, and then literally
Yep. Class the following
Wednesday
week.
they're gonna be doing
Yep.
the Level
Uh-huh.
2 and the new class reveal.
Yep. I
As like a
agree.
secret patch, and so then we'll get to try it. So
I
I don't know.
agree.
Well, I guess we'll see. I definitely want to try it for sure. So I
I
get to
think
tag it.
I think
guess.
he's right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be in Europe when it releases. Here's a hot take. I think that no shot.
No shot.
I'll come back to that in a second. I think that it's gonna release while I'm still in Europe. I think
Oh yeah.
release it the week
For sure.
after the ball.
Yeah,
I do.
I think so as well. Because they did last year, right? They literally like it was like what was it? It was Scholar was announced, and then Scholar came out 2 days later.
Yep.
So
Yeah, actually, it was a
talked
couple
about
days later, wasn't it?
6+ months ago, and I think they've prepped it all and they're ready to go.
Yeah. Hopefully, is the idea.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a male class. I probably will try it and make like a chooser. I'm actually curious if it's going to be a flanking assassin, a frontline, or a backline DPS.
I think it's going to be a ranged. I think it's going to be a caster.
I think it's going to be a caster too. Yeah. I think
it's
going to be a
what is
caster
it?
too.
Musa 2.0? That'd be so boring. Like
No.
it's got to have like you're basically gonna be shooting beams out of his little saber. You're gonna be shooting like lightsaber beams or something.
Yeah, I think it'll
don't
be
it's
kind
gonna
of
be an archer.
caster.
I think it's going to be a caster.
Yeah.
I think that he's going to cast spells like a lot like
from his
Wizard and
sword.
Witch. Yeah, think like Wizard and Witch. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Maybe he has like a fire beam sword. That would be pretty cool. Like a little fire sword comes out like Warlock and in Destiny would be sick.
That would be sick.
Yeah. Regardless, I do think that it's going to come out. What are the predictions for when you think the expansion is going to come? Because we know we're going to hear about the expansion. We're very excited about it. That's kind of in their like traditional cycle here. But like, when do you think that we're actually going to get it? Realistically
I don't know.
speaking, the expansion itself. Release days.
Next week.
Next week.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
No, Korea doesn't even have it yet. Again, we talked about this.
Guess we'll see.
Well, I'm hoping last, final quarter of this year. Hoping.
Yeah. Really? You think it's gonna be that long?
Probably. Yeah.
No
like
shot,
3-4
bro.
months is what I'm thinking.
Bro, didn't we predict Devil Rings were gonna be coming out in August, and they came out like what 4 or 5 months early? Bro, they got this stuff way ready to go. This stuff's gonna be popping out before the end of summer, and then by the end of the year, they're gonna have the 4th dungeon coming out, bro.
I think.
Well, my idea is if I predicted way into the future and then we get it sooner, I'll be happier.
Yeah, this stuff isn't coming out for years, guys.
Bro, this is the blonde strategy. Set the expectation bar like impossibly low, like James Cameron making a movie about the ocean, levels of low, and then just step over it because they can't disappoint you. Like, no. I think it probably realistically, I think we get the class the week after the ball. And then I think we get the expansion at the end of next month.
No shot.
Oh.
They
Yeah.
would want to release
Mhm.
the class and
That's
the expansion at the
fast.
same time, so that new players would land into the morning light with the new character, right?
Well, is that what they did with Megu and Wusa?
I don't know about that. That one came out. I think they came out what 6 months before it actually.
Yeah. See,
Hmm.
like I don't think they like.
Mhm.
I think they'll
You think
trickle
they're gonna do
feed
it the
us.
same thing they did Mugen
I
and
think
Musa? Okay.
I think they're going to trickle feed it to us. I think we're going to get the new class. We're going to get a surge of players. And I think it would be smarter to do it this way too. I think if you release it all at the same time, you're just going to get a mess of
It's gonna be
players.
too much
And
to do.
yeah, it's going to be too much.
Yeah.
And you'll get less
That's
players
fair.
overall. I think that you'll get a lot of the returning players coming back to play the new class with, because that's what happens when a new class comes out, right? And then you get the new players. Like once that class has been figured out, people have had time to make guides and stuff. Because like you got to take this all comes into consideration. Like a new player wants to pick up and play a class, and he's going to need guides and stuff. He's going to need help along the way, and this will give like the veteran players time to kind of experiment with the new class. Not a crazy amount of time; it'll still be new, but like I think the end of the month, next month, expansion drops, and then it's crazy, dude. Like I think the new class into the expansion, you get another huge surge of players, and I think those players are typically the new players that we love so much. That like are trying the game out. It's like, okay, well, there's this new expansion. There's group PVE content now. There's this new class I might like, right? Because BDO's diversity of classes, a lot of people, well, it comes under a lot of criticism. To be honest with you, a lot of people criticize how many classes we have in the game, but I'll be honest with you, I think they should just keep making classes permanently. Just keep
Yeah.
making new classes. I don't care if there's 50.
Yeah.
I really don't.
The more the better. Diversity.
To me, the way that I see people getting attached to BDO is they fall in love with one of the characters, right, or one of the classes, right. This is how it worked for League too, right. The reason League is so successful is because there's a character for everyone, right. Like there's a thematic that can jive with just about everyone there is, and so like the more classes we have, the wider player base we can hit. And BDO does such a, as long as they keep nailing it. I mean, they have to like, bro, Megu and Wusa and Scholar and Dracania, those classes nailed it. You know what I mean? Like, look at Awakening Draconia's theming. You have like the whole dragon thematic going on, and in succession, you have like the power and like the durability of a dragon, and then in the awakening form you have the fire and like the attack power that a dragon might have, but you trade off some of the squishiness. Megu and Wusa are themed expertly. Like these classes are extremely well designed. They feel really fun to play, and if they keep nailing it like that, I absolutely think that they should just keep releasing classes infinitely, because there's more of a chance that more players will discover the game and say, oh yeah, I really like this. Oh wow, this is a great class. This is fun to play, you know, and then they dive more into the game. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on it? Blonde, do you think that they should keep releasing classes like that?
Yeah, I think I'm at the point where I've realized that like you guys said, balancing is just going to be something that always exists. And although I wish they were better at it, so that people on the sort of competitive PvP side would be more satisfied, I feel like it's just going to be a never-ending battle of like figuring out what works and what doesn't. So setting that aside, I think that is one of the biggest appeals, is people finding a class that really matches with them. Because like, for example, I played Zerker basically since the inception of the game, and I never thought I'd ever find a class that like I would like. There's tons of aesthetics that I like in other classes, but I'd never played another class like this. And then Scholar came out, and I haven't been able to stop playing her, because the flow and the way it feels, and then everything just adds up to like a really fun experience. So I'm definitely a proponent of like, just keep pumping out classes, which is why it leads into my other thing of like the Ascension. Like, instead of taking one class and splitting it in two, you could just create a new class based on an entirely new theme, and then really go deep into that theme, rather than doing like hints at a theme and not really being able to flesh it out more. I feel like the Ascension lets them flesh out those themes more. So if we were to just keep pumping and pumping and pumping new classes, like that would be like the tie-in to the Ascension. But like, this also has to come, if we were to get like up to 50 plus classes, I feel like there's got to be like I know this is another topic, but a universal weapons, like not just a third tag, but just like
Yes,
the life skill
please.
stuff. It needs to all just be equipped, and then I can log on to any character and play it, because that's what the game's about. Imagine if you could play every character in the game, like, and you
Huh?
spin a wheel, you play a new class for the day. Like, that would be
Oh no, I'm
awesome.
streaming.
And it sucks for the PvP side because of meta or whatever, but I mean, PvP's dead. So, oh well.
Oh my god. That's what you're getting
Sorry,
flamed for.
Bucko. All the new
That's what you're
players hate
getting flamed for.
PvP. Sorry.
Oh, we found the inflammatory comment for the week. Thanks for increasing our interaction, Blonde. What a hero. I think that I think the argument that you shouldn't make new classes because of balance is irrelevant. Because the game is not meant to be balanced necessarily. The idea is to get close-ish to a balanced play state and then mix up the snow globe again, right? Like you want to get as close as possible to a balanced play state. Like right now, think about the balance in the game. Which class is overtuned? Awakening Dracania, right? But is everyone playing Awakening Dracania? No, but there are a disproportionate amount of them. But if they nerf Awakening Dracania, aside from that, what are the other classes that you feel like are
next best thing?
Yeah, what are the other classes that you think that are just too strong right now? Like there's to be honest with you, I think their balance overall, and this is a hot take, they're doing a pretty decent job, with the exception of maybe Dracania. I would just honestly rather them focus on, like, again, the new classes are fine. It's going to shake things up. I want to see them shake up the snow globe very violently for all of the classes in the game, so that everybody feels like there's something fun and new and like something to discover on their class again. Which brings back, by the way, all kinds of players, right? Like if you do something like a class rework like they did a number of years ago, oh my God, people who haven't looked at the game in years are like, yo, wait, hold up, did they fix Mewa? You know what I mean? Like that's
Did
like,
they
like,
fix
that's
Mewa?
what they'll come back to play the game. So like I'm actually at the ball. I'm kind of hoping that, like, I know that the Ascension kind of narrows the specs down. I would love, if it's not a complete other spec, I would love an expansion on like the skill tree would be great. I would love like, oh good.
I was just gonna say, Jay's always talked about like that for a long time. One of my favorite points I love to hear from Jay is like how, like, similar to like the Witch Wizard succession tree, where you basically are using the ability, and then at the end you get to choose like one of two abilities, and you get to like specialize in a certain thing. Jay's always talked about like, oh, more stuff into that, and you pointed that out. It's like that would be really cool if, like, yeah, you could like heavily invest into something in your skill tree that gets more specific to your like catered taste. Like, oh, I want bigger AoE for less damage, or I want more damage but in a smaller spot, or vice versa. Right? That would be really That would be.
I always love talking about so Diablo 3 was one of my most favorite games when it first released, and they why
it was probably his first Diablo.
It was my first Diablo too, and I still hated it.
I love Diablo 3, but they had a mechanic in Diablo 3 where so Wizard in that game had this laser beam, like disintegrate, right? And you could choose between like 5 different runes for it, and one made it like thicker and girthier, right? And then it did fire damage, or one like did a conal effect but turned it to arcane damage, and one
all right, we
made
gotta
it
go
thinner,
super
but
hard the next
longer,
30 minutes
but it
here.
made it cold damage, right? Stuff like that just like alters the like the base effect. And let's say for Witch, right, I always talk about how, oh, Voltaic Pulse, like what if they had sort of like that sort of like rune system or whatever, where Voltaic Pulse, instead of being a 360 AoE, became this like conal effect or a line effect,
like
instead.
augments.
It augments it in different ways. It's not necessarily better, but just gives you different more options. So Voltaic could be like a long range line AoE instead, or a conal AoE, or
just like that.
Or it has like it starts like, it does a suck CC or whatever. So yeah, stuff like that more for skills would be really interesting to see. And again, the balance stuff, right? Things will always be like, not everything will always be balanced, but I think sometimes it's fun like that. I bet you that's why some people play Draconia is because it is strong and unbalanced
Overpowered,
at certain times, and stuff like that. And the unbalance can be fun sometimes, and that's what happens in League 2, I think, whereas when they shake things up, like these classes suddenly come out of nowhere because they're really strong all of a sudden, and then things keep changing and the snow globe keeps shaking and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's still not an acceptable use of the word girth. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I do think that exactly what Jay said. I would also love. Here's the deal. Do you guys remember when they said that they were going to release like the Black Star colors?
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
They had a roadmap.
I know. When are they going to do that?
April to release it, and they
never did.
April 2026. Yeah, April 2026.
April 2026.
Yeah.
26.
We didn't. It's our fault. We didn't ask which April.
It's
honestly on us, to be real. But like, I think that at the ball,
that's true.
The most hype thing for me would be like, hey, if you get to 5,000 skill points on your class, and it only works the first time. So if you re-roll to another class, you can't get it with that. You have to do it all over again on another class, right? You can't just like roll your combat skill points around. Like if you get like 5,000 skill points on a class, it changes your effects to green, right? Like
visual effects.
Yeah, like or 4,000, right? You know, it's got to be something that people can grind for. Like people would literally
to show that you're somebody who just didn't just didn't roll. They like spent time and dedicated time to that class to really achieve that much experience and time spent being on that class. You know,
that's my point, bro. Like I think that kind of stuff would be
cool.
really cool. Cosmetic. I want to see stuff cosmetically. Doesn't necessarily increase my gear score. Doesn't necessarily increase my stats. I will do it anyway. Okay. The compass did not really increase my gear score. If anything, it hurt my gear score because I could have grinded someone way better. But I grinded it for 4 years because I wanted the compass. But like, so I like stuff like that. As far as treasure items go, okay, yeah, we have a bunch of treasure items. Expand on them. You know what I mean? Like I said, the Orzeka set. If you get 10 Orzeka chess pieces or 50 Orzeka chess pieces or some obnoxious number, you can change it to like a green glow or something, and you get like a different title, right? This takes like 10 minutes for an intern to do, and
10 minutes.
We would do it. That's the funny thing.
Come on,
We
intern.
would absolutely do it. There's not even a question. We would do it. Jay's like, I already have 50 of them.
Cosmetics.
Yeah. Jay's like, I would just put it on day one. But like anything like that would be incredible. I think that I don't know. I think that overall release date for the expansion, you're looking at the end of next month. I think the class releases almost immediately.
Yeah, I think the class releases next week.
Which is kind of a shame because I'm still going to be in Europe, so I'm going to miss a lot of like the hype that is kind of around the class. But yeah, it is what it is. You guys got to hold down the fort while I'm gone. Yeah, I'll get it done. What else are we thinking? Oh yeah, I want to talk about quality of life updates. What quality of life? Well, actually, Jay, what do you want to say?
Oh, I was just gonna mention about how like for viewers who don't know, this year's Heidel Ball is, you keep talking about like going to Europe and like and stuff. It's being held in France in this like little town called Beinecke-Kazenack, and it's actually the exact town that Heidel was modeled after. So it was like really cool that they
that is really cool.
Like the venue. I'm like, me and Blomber were talking earlier before you were on call about how much does it cost to freaking rent a castle for a weekend?
Yeah,
like, I'm not in that
probably a lot.
Like,
Jay,
money field to understand how much money.
Jay,
a lot.
You were not at the first Calpheon Ball. You have no idea.
Really?
The amount of money that they budget for this stuff. At
Where
the
is
Calpheon Ball? We were like, don't forget your goodie bag on your way out the door. And these dudes had a backpack filled to the brim. There was a $300 headset in there.
Wow.
There's a hoodie in there, plushie, all kinds of shit. And then they gave away graphics cards, processors, computers. And by the way, that wasn't all. They were like, Jay was like, we had more money in the budget, so everyone just gets a $100 gift card. Like that's we were like, okay, sounds good. Like they just handed us like time. It was nuts. Yeah, you should go next time. Like it was nuts. Man.
Why didn't I go?
Yeah, tough shit. Okay.
All
right, for only $2,000, you can still make it. Well, that's to fly there and back. You can live like a homeless person.
Fly there, $2,000.
Something tells me that it's gonna be a little different this time. Last time we stayed in like a 4-star, 4.5-star hotel, something like that. And this time I looked at the hotel and it is a 3-star.
3-star.
So I'm expecting to roll up and have them hand me a lantern and walk me to my tent.
Oh gosh.
That's basically where we're at. Like I don't know if that's
You're not staying at the castle? What?
It might be safer there, unironically. We'll see. I don't know. I don't want to judge it until I get there, but like we'll see. We will
You'll
see.
Have the inside look, right? Because you'll be streaming it.
I've stayed at 3. Yeah, I've stayed at 3-star hotels before, and they were rough. I ain't gonna lie, they were rough. But like, I'm a simple man, so I don't really care. it's not gonna matter to me. What is gonna be really cool is getting to meet all the EU creators and all the EU fans out there. You know, people that play the game. How often do you get to walk outside and actually meet someone that plays Black Desert Online?
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't. Your wife doesn't count. You stupid.
Your wife.
Look, just because.
Does your wife even play?
Blonde Bear is even carry. He's RNG carried in real life because he found a wife, dude. Like, this dude is carried in and out of game. At least Jay is only carried in game.
What?
So far.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So
Man's
far,
roasted.
I mean, Jay, you're gonna find a nice guy someday. He's gonna be great to you.
Oh my gosh.
What if I already have one? Okay.
Oh God. Okay. Quality of life updates. Well, final thing for the ball. Final thing. Final thing for the ball. What do you think the best quality of life update we could get for the game would be that they could announce? Last time, I nailed it. Last time, I said family-wide life skills, and I nailed it. So I'm curious what you guys think this time. Blonde?
Family-wide gear wheel.
That'd be kind of cool.
That was mine. You took mine.
Mobile has it.
God, you're such a loser.
I'm just saying, mobile has it, and everything mobile has, we seem to kind of get a little bit down the pipeline. So
no. Okay, here you go. You ready for this? I'm sorry, Jay. I don't like, but that was my prediction anyway. So
okay.
Here's the thing. Do you guys see this? They have family-wide life tools right now, right? Just like this. I think the combat one's gonna be the same thing. I think they're gonna let us load our accessories and armor in there, and then we're gonna be allowed to have gear presets. So like there'll be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can just apply the gear preset you want on that particular character.
Dude, where is this?
And it should also link to your crystals too.
Where's he at?
Like you can link that gear preset to that crystal preset. So when you click on this gear,
I don't know where he's at.
click that crystal preset as well. I think that's
an all-in-one preset.
I think that's the reason that like we got the life skill update and it looks the way that it does. I'm pretty sure because they're developing something very similar for gear in all likelihood.
Because
wouldn't that be awesome?
More of like an EXP thing now, more than a gear thing. The item copy is just like a side effect, right?
Oh no, I think that they're going to exclude weapons. I think they're I think it's going to be armors, accessories, and crystals, and maybe your skill preset. I don't know how they would do that though. Like I think it's going to be armor, accessories, crystals, and then maybe consumables too. Like it may preset your fairy for like to pop certain consumables for you if you have this skill. But I think that they will probably keep tagging the way that it is. Personally, I would love if they just did the weapons too. And then I could just play whatever character I wanted.
Exactly.
Like that. Like, why can't we do that right now anyway?
Yeah.
Who cares? At this point, like, I understand why they did it before, but I mean, I think that they used to focus a lot more on solo progression in the game. They used to focus more on character progression in the game, but we're getting away from that now. That's like a thing of the past. Like now it's family progression, right? You have, but it started with the adventure logs where like your entire family sees benefits, right? And then we saw like again,
that'd be so nice
is another
to have like a gear
all of that like individual character progression doesn't really exist anymore.
Family wide.
Tag characters together. So like now, if you have like a really low
or
level character and you want to just level them up,
just
quickly,
keep like the
tag it to your main character,
tag event permanent type thing, where it just costs 1 fuel
like
to do it.
Boom, it's level 60. You know what I mean? Like it's a piece of cake. So like I think we're getting away from like individual character progression and we're moving more towards long-term family progression. Oh yeah, family-wide karma. Boss alts go hard. Well, of course they do. Of course they do. Like we're not saying to remove alternate characters. God no. That would be crazy. So you still have your alternate characters, but on those alternate characters, you can boss outs go hard. He means with the gear.
Yeah,
I bet he means with the gear
score on your alts.
Oh my god, bosses would actually die. Wait a minute.
They do die. They do die.
Oh my god, it takes so long. Like I remember
he fled.
days where
I could never find him.
It's gonna be 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, like Kudum definitely takes one of the longer ones.
Yeah, we're big
Undercloud Kudum, just 30 minutes goes hard.
Yeah, Nuver dies. No, they die fast. No, my sweet summer child. When I say fast, I mean 15 seconds. 15 no, I'm not joking. Do you guys remember when there was like a Nuver? Yeah. There used to be like a Nuver event, where back in the day, like they doubled the rewards and then they doubled how much they came out with like the Garmoth quest line and stuff. And it was like this big this boss reward, like the world boss event. And I remember if you were not at Nuver when it spawned, you
were
weren't
not
making it.
killing it.
You were not touching it, right? Like
No.
also when the Bartali log came out, if you were not there for like 2 months, if you were not standing at
At
Nuver
Quint.
I don't know how I'm
Quint,
doing this
when it
hour with my
spawned, like
trash.
it's lagging out of its mind. Everyone's standing there, and Quint would spawn. He stomped one time, and the dude vaporized. Like, and that was it. God, did I hit him? You know what I mean? Like that's how it was. So like, I'm hoping that
I think I'm doing good so
like,
far.
honestly, in terms of quality of life update, I really do think the next big quality of life update we're gonna get, and I was really good at calling the last one because I said family-wide life skills. I do think it's gonna be gear, like a gear wheel, like a combat presets for your gear that looks a lot like this life skilling thing, but is much more expansive. So you can program in, so a lot like the life tool thing. Down here along the bottom, you could click on your crystals that you want to be equipped, the preset on this character that you'd like to be equipped, and like, you know, the consumables that you would like running when you click on this preset option, all that stuff. And then you could just click a button and everything like changes for you, and it's everything just, and then you just go green. Like, I think that's probably what we're gonna get, or that's what they're gonna announce that they're working on, and then we'll get it in 2027 because that's how long it's gonna take to develop.
Pretty much.
At the end of the day. So, Jay, what was your? Sorry, Jay, what was your thoughts on like the next?
You kind of covered everything that I was gonna say as well. And so, yes, agreed.
Oh my god.
Actually,
Okay.
we've been talking a lot about like what we're looking forward to, but are there any things or aspects from past balls that you would like to see again? Because they haven't been doing
forgot
this
about?
recently, but I really liked when they like showed like game statistics of like, oh, what is the highest level, or who has the most merchant rings and stuff. I love those sections. Yeah,
The infograph. I remember how much we were raving about the infograph. Both Jay
Where
and
is he?
I.
Where is he
I think it
at?
was Tiltus with us.
Oh, there
Honestly,
he
wasn't
is.
it? Or
Hey,
was it
there.
Blonde?
Now we found him.
Like we were like, bro, we love the infographics. They're so cool. We love watching the infographics. And then they didn't even do it. They didn't do it at all. It was Blonde. They didn't literally do it at all for the ball, and we were like, Sag, like, yeah,
Very
you're right,
was
man.
it?
Yeah, you're right, bro.
Those are cool to
They
see.
do it then, and they do it for the anniversary too. But yeah, they didn't really. Yeah, it was kind of
I
annoying.
love stuff like that kind of like showcase and like celebrates the adventures of BDO, right? And so,
Yep.
there. Do you have any like
Just
things
zooming,
from past balls
baby.
that you didn't like?
Zooming,
Because there
zooming.
was one. I was like kind of like skimming over the past balls, and there was one particular ball where they had this really awkward Q&A section from adventures around the world, like they speak different languages and stuff, and they had an opportunity to ask Jay, the main producer of BDO, a question, right? And they had a bunch of translators for all the different languages, like Japanese, Thai, German, and all those languages, and it would be live translated back and forth. And it
Those
sounded
questions were
interesting
stupid.
on paper, right? To have people around the world connect to ask Jay about the game, but we literally had to wait for each person to ask a question and then have it translated to Korean for Jay to respond back in Korean, which would then be translated
It's a
back
cool
to the original
idea,
language. And
but the
sometimes the
questions,
askers would have like connection issues, so there's even more delays.
some of those questions that were asked were stupid.
And the section ended up lasting so painfully slow. It was like literally an hour and a half of that Q&A that and recent balls recently, right? Like, like BDO Vesta and the Calthian balls, they lasted like 2.5 hours at most. And this one section from that ball, right? The ball was like 5 hours long because that one section was like an hour and a half to 2 hours. Oh my God. It was kind of, oh my God. There's one moment where there was one question. I just remembered the devs had revealed this llama mount for the Shy, like in an earlier presentation of that ball. And then there was somebody who decided to use their question, right? A question from the main producer of Black Desert to ask if the llamas could be breedable. And like, no offense to that person, but like, I just wish that the question was just like a little bit less niche.
Jay, you don't understand.
A chance to.
The thing I hate. Do you want to know the most base thing they could do?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do a quote Q&A right now. We're gonna have Blue Squadron up on the stage. We're just gonna hand him a microphone, and I'm gonna ask Jay questions. Watch me cook. Like, just watch me. They don't have the balls. There is not a chance. They don't have the balls. Like, I think that they like the Q&A section, as Jay said, you're spot on, man. Like the Q&A section is always just complete bullshit. They cherry pick the questions.
Oh, yeah.
They're ridiculous.
For
They're
sure.
shit that nobody cares about at all. The butler, the clown butler felt really scary when I
That was such a stupid
and
question,
it's
bro.
disturbing me in
I remember
dream
that.
nightmares. Can we
I
please
remember
tone that
that.
down? Yes, we'll make this a top priority. Like, what the hell are we talking
I
about?
remember that.
Listen,
Oh
as much as
no.
you guys make fun of those people, that's like
Oh
your
no.
average BDO gamer.
Oh no.
I agree with your sentiment
These are my
as us
viewers,
being like
bro.
end game hardcore player, but that is your average BDO
Oh,
player, and that's
gosh.
why when you think of like who's their target audience for this new weird update, that's who you're talking to, which is
Oh
okay. You know,
gosh.
BDO is available to so many different people and players, but listen, that's who they're advertising this game to. Just saying.
Yeah, it's always just complete garbage. The questions
Yes.
don't get like there's no like solid, but it would be okay if one or two of those questions. I understand trying to appeal to
It was a
players.
lot
It's
of
like,
them.
yeah, I understand like one or two of
There's
those
a lot, yeah.
questions because you actually show the player base. Yeah, we listen to the little guy. You know what I mean? But what about like the bigger people? You know what I mean? Like the bigger groups of people. Like, are you gonna field large scale raids at some point? Like, please field that question. You know what I mean? Like what is
Yeah,
holding us
the
up on
important
this? Because
questions.
it sets us apart from other
Where's the
MMOs.
dragon mount
Right?
that we were promised us
Yeah,
a
where's
while
the
ago?
where's
Oh,
the
that is
dragon mount for
true.
Siege?
Yeah,
And
that's
he'll just be
right.
like,
The
I have
dragon
to
mount.
rework it. Careful what you wish for.
That's right. I do
Like,
remember them
careful
talking
what you
about
wish
that.
for, losers. You know what I mean? Like
That's true.
I would love to see them like actually address some solid questions, but it's more often than not the Q&A is usually just horrible. If they just handed the audience microphones and allowed us, it's just too random. I just don't think that they're going to allow Jay to have to field like questions that are actually difficult in any way, or that players that actually want to know.
Pressured, yeah.
Right?
It's a lot of pressure, yeah.
Well, I don't care if it's a lot of pressure. Shut up! Stop talking about your feelings, bro. Jay, do you have any how much money Jay gets paid?
A lot.
Your feelings.
A lot.
You're paid to be under this pressure. Like this is your job. Do your job. You know what I mean? Like that would be my excuse. Like, oh, it's a lot of pressure. Oh, you. It's not like you have someone cut open on an operating table here. I'm asking you a question in front of thousands of people. You think I don't handle that? Like, come on now, Jay. Let's go. Like, answer the question. It's not like he's gonna get an immense amount of blowback if he just says that. Well, we're working on it. Right. Even a very simple response. It's like, well, we're looking at large scale raids. We're running into a couple problems with it for now, but it is being considered. Right. Like that's all we need. Right. Like just something on it. But like we don't even get to address, and that's not a lot of pressure. Like that's not a lot of pressure at all. He can just shove off every question. He's a politician. Jay, if anything, is a politician. Right. Like that's just how it is. He's good at lying to us.
Yep.
He's really, really good at that.
Been
So,
doing
like,
it for a
I
while.
don't think it's really a pressure thing at all. I think that
It's been better.
they just
It's been
don't
better,
like bad
but
PR, and they don't want to be criticized if Jay says something stupid. But all Jay really has to say is, "Yeah, we're working on it soon, TM. Soon, TM." Or no, we're not working on it. Or we're not working on it. Right? Like, no, it's not something we're considering because of this reason. Right?
which he's
do you
done that
guys
in the
think we're gonna get
past.
Crimson Desert, like a release thing at all for Crimson Desert?
I care less
Yeah,
about Crimson
I think
Desert.
so too, because I remember I was watching this
Be
video
honest with you.
from Anders, and he was just talking about how he found this like I don't know if it was like an article, but he was just explaining the news about how Crimson Desert is like pretty much almost done, and that Dokavi and Plan 8, I think it was, there was the two other games that they were working on, that development for them is speeding up, and they're working on that now that the bulk of Crimson Desert is pretty much over, and so I think we're gonna get it. Like,
You think we're gonna get an announcement though during the ball?
Announcement? Yeah,
I've been
I don't
doing
think
the
so at all.
no, I've
You don't
been
think so?
doing the covert like looking at like the data analysis and what they've said at basically every public thing. It does look like they're kind of hinting at like a Q1 2025 release for Crimson Desert, which would line up with beginning marketing somewhere like anywhere between now and the end of summer would be when they would begin marketing for that. But like, or like at the end of fall, maybe probably at latest at the end of fall. And that's just speculation, but like again, it's based off their quarterly earnings report and things that they've said. I think it would be really good for them to make their Heidel ball and their Calpheon ball like a BlizzCon.
For all their games?
yes,
At some point, yeah, I think that would be smart.
Yes,
but they have to release another game first for it to
that's
get
my
there.
point. But like the first step is to just the first step is to talk about it, right? I think they got a lot of blowback initially on Crimson Desert when they said it was going to be an MMO, and everyone was like, "Well, we're all going to stop playing BDO then."
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Never mind, it's not an MMO." And so like because they didn't want to kill BDO.
Yeah.
And I do not think that we will get an announcement for Crimson Desert at the ball for this reason. I don't think. I think it would be smart for them to, but I think that again they're just not going to because they don't want to potentially hurt their player base in BDO.
Yep.
But I would, and if they don't, that's fine. But I would love to see a convention where they do it all together. I'm gonna say this. Console got its own segment last time, and I know that you guys don't know very much about console, but I'm hoping that console gets for the ball this year. They remove support for like the old gen console, like the PS4 or whatever, and then they do new gen console basically only, and they update it all. They bring it to the next gen. Would be really, really good for console, really, really healthy. Or a merging of console and PC servers.
That'd be kind of cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Really well. Like I think that console players would really like that.
Yeah.
Like BDO Mobile, they do something for BDO Mobile too. Or BDO Mobile has like its own ball. But I'm not sure it's a part of this one this year. Okay. Let's see. Okay, off subject of the ball. They removed mounted combat. How mad are we about this?
Yeah.
Mounted combat.
Not mad, just
didn't even know that was a thing.
So cool to spin my axes on my horse, and now I can't do that.
Yeah, you look like a baboon. Okay, nobody cares. Like mounted combat. Yeah, they removed it. No one cares. Like it was never good anyway, and I don't know why they even had it in the game in the state that it was in. Just kind of weird, but it was kind of a niche thing that it's just out of nowhere. They were like, yeah, by the way, we're just gonna remove mounted combat. I think that oh god, one thing we forgot to talk about for the ball, reworks. Do you think we're gonna get the trading rework?
Trading rework? Ooh, I don't know.
Another one has appeared.
Well, I mean, people are talking about a fishing rework. Why the hell
Like
is
kill
this
him?
being passed around like a street hooker? Like, why are we like what fishing who?
Oh.
Like, why? Like, do you guys want a fishing rework? Did they say something about a fishing rework? I don't remember there being a fishing rework being mentioned anywhere. Also, they said that they were gonna I came out with my infinite potion guide today. This is bugging me. And somebody in the comment section was like, "Blue, they already announced they're completely reworking the infinite potions and how the pity pieces drop and all this stuff, blah 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 for the potions, and they're on the global labs." And I was like, "What? That's not actually a thing, right? That person is crazy."
Some Chris Foley level stuff, or
yeah, they were like, "I can't believe you would make this guide. You're like farming for views."
Farming for views.
How it works. Like it's just the weekly. They changed the quests. Okay, so what are they doing for the quest? What are they changing for the quest?
I think they're reducing the amount of
that's it,
mobs
right?
you need to kill.
Yeah, that's it though, right?
I thought that's what I saw.
It's just a mob reduction.
And shameful that you put out that guide knowing that information.
It's literally the guide is like an hour and a half long.
Misinformation, shame.
Bro, no, I didn't even talk about how many mobs you kill. I just said here's where you get the weekly. That's it. Like,
did you source the information accurately? I'm disappointed.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, the comment has like 12 upvotes. I'm like, why are you guys so crazy? What are we talking about?
12 upvotes.
Baby.
Yep.
It's like, I can't believe you're farming for views with this garbage guide that like now you're gonna have to you're misleading people intentionally. I'm like, wait, the only thing that there is like the mob reduction on the global labs, and that changes nothing of my guide. Literally nothing is wrong in the guide because I don't talk about how many mobs you have to kill. I just say, here's where you get the weekly, right? And unless they're changing the NPC, which they're not, like that, it's crazy, man. It's literally crazy.
Yeah.
Okay,
People are
so
crazy.
did you guys look at the comments for the podcast? Honestly, we didn't have a podcast last week. So were there any comments that were troubling to you on any of the the recent podcasts? Like like the last one, like Blonde, I know you read the comments all the time. Were there any that actually bugged you? I'll be honest, you're kind of becoming less hated. That of less people are watching, but like I'm pretty sure no, I'm
Listen,
pretty sure that
when we don't talk about catch-up mechanics, apparently I'm a very reasonable guy.
Reasonable guy. Yeah.
Just we maybe just disagree on some fundamentals, but we kind of got the picture, you know.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, you actually are starting to get love in the comments. Like Blonde Bear is radiating happiness. He's clearly in a partying mood. It's crazy.
Oh.
It's crazy what the relief of no longer having to farm Olins can do for someone.
Yeah, that I was pretty much smile glued to my face for that whole episode because I mean, yeah, it was a good freaking week for me.
Yeah, it was a good week for you. One thing that we have to address today is that we're getting the DR and evasion change tonight. Right before I leave. Yeah, literally right before I leave. So I literally won't even have time. Like I'm gonna do the patch note rundown on it, and I'm not gonna have time to flame them for how terrible
Listen,
job it is.
we'll work out all the bugs. Don't worry. When you come back,
yeah, we'll talk about it next week.
New game.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm still, I will still probably do the patch note rundown next week from a hotel room. I'll probably do it. Well, I have
in a laptop hotel room camera. The room is lit yellow. Okay, guys.
You mean from your tent?
Screw you, Blonde. I'm literally gonna be
low quality mic and everything. It's gonna sound like, okay, guys.
It's gonna have the
Oh my gosh. He's done such a great job with that too.
Screw you, Blonde. I am 100% gonna do it. I've got a really good microphone that attaches to my camera, like my Sony ZV-E10. So like I will vlog record the recording, and then we can just kind of push it down, and then have me going through the best notes. It's a piece of cake. Best note rundown is a piece of cake. I love to do it live because I like interacting with chat while the best note rundown is going on. But like, you know, it'll be missing that. But like, I'll do that while I'm there. And I think we're gonna have 2 videos a day while I'm gone. I think I've done enough videos that I think we're gonna have 2 a day. I'm gonna do a few today too.
Nice.
I should be okay. But like, I think the DR evasion change coming. We already speculated on it last week, so I didn't want to talk too much about it this week. But like,
but it's real.
Yeah, it's real. It's coming. We're getting it now. And by the way, I just want to say, I said I think it should come out before the ball, and they had already. The funny thing is, and I don't think that this was me at all. I think this was them just seeing the light on the reality of the situation. I don't think that my content had anything to do with it, but I called it. I think initially they were like, yeah, here's the DR evasion rework. We're going to release it in KR first.
We're almost there, a minute and a half.
And then I got up here and I was like, yo, if you don't release this before the ball, or if you release this before the ball, even if everybody hates it, then the ball happens. Everybody loves you anyway. Oh my God, we forget about, we forget that it happened. Oh my God, a hammer.
A hammer.
And then like that's, we're like kids, man. We have the attention span of a gnat. Okay. So like this is the best way to do it. You
keep going. I got a minute. I can get 15K. I can get 15K. Come on.
It's a W. So big props to Perlibus for getting it out reasonably quickly. I would still love to have seen Korea wait 1 extra week so that we all got it at the same time. Would have been great.
Would have been nice.
Yeah, that like why can't we just wait 1
Where'd he go?
week? What are we talking about?
Where'd he go? He disappeared?
On that front.
What the heck?
But like, we're very excited about it. What's your most exciting thing about the DR evasion change that you're
confused
excited for your class? And not Scholar, Blonde, because they forgot Scholar existed.
PvE tankiness. I'm pretty sure we're all just gonna get a lot tankier, which I'm a big proponent of that. I'm at max endgame gear. I probably shouldn't die at a grind spot, in my opinion.
Just don't die.
Just don't get hit.
Just don't die, guys. Yeah.
Listen,
maybe this is the solution.
You know, I like comfy grinding, and that's a big W for me. So
yeah. Okay, and Jay, my boy.
Hi, yes. I mean, I always talk about my chat about how like someone in my chat earlier last stream, they were complaining about how they used to be a Zerker, right? So they're used to like tanking in a bunch of things. For example, like Israel, they're used to just like tanking everything, and then they tag the stage, and then they like died like 6 times in the hour in comparison to their Zerker. But hey, but maybe now I was talking to them. Hey, next week we're gonna get tankier, so maybe
Done.
Sage can finally start tanking stuff. So,
All
and then you won't
right.
stop losing your crystal. But at the same time, I feel like if you're dying at Israel, you're probably getting smacked by like the leg or something, or you're standing in something that you're not supposed.
Ooh, what a grind. All right, let's see how much we got. We at least got one of these. Not as RNG carried this go around, but that's okay. That's all right. All right, YouTube. Peace out. Hope you'll have a good day tomorrow.
Sunsets on black desert sky. It's just you and I. Weapons ready.